Oh, hello and welcome to another Friday Night Football. I'm Anthony Mackem. Today I'm going to be joined by Jacob Aviard and Darvlar. Darvlar is a Liverpool fan, so we will be talking a little bit about Liverpool throughout this, and obviously a lot about the Sunderland's transfer market, the 2020-23. Yeah, that whole stuff. So, first we have Jacob. Hello, Jacob. His mic's still busted.
Yeah.
And Darv. Hello.
Hello, sir.
The Scouse and Lou. So, first and foremost, happy 2023. We're starting it off with a bit of a bang.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay. Don't sound too excited, lads. Oh, fair enough. Oh, Jacob's left. Oh.
He's left.
Bye. Hi, Jacob. You there? Hello.
Hi.
There we are. Good lad.
Started off with a bang. Hi.
That's what she said, Darvlar.
I wish.
So this is going to be placed on the podcast services, lads. So bear that in mind. Dean, do you gonna have a mare? I mean, it sounds like we might have a bit of a giggle fest tonight.
No, I think you meant De Gea.
De Gea. Oh, David De Gea.
De Gea.
Yeah. Okay. He's talking about David De Gea in the Man U Everton game. Oh, speaking of Everton, we'll talk about the Ellis Simms situation, or lack thereof anymore. What a absolute shit show that was, lads. Dorf, I'm guessing you're not aware of that. But
Of what?
So Ellis Simms, our striker, who's in the Mr. Afro, he New Year's Eve was recalled.
Oh yeah, he got recalled. Yeah, to Everton. I think you told me in the last game I watched with you.
Yeah, so he played 5 minutes when his team were 4-0 down.
What the fuck?
And yeah, like, I guess you want him to come on as an impact player and you want to get game time in the Premier League, but putting him on when your team's losing 4-0, coming from a relatively successful season for Sunderland, I think that's going to be a huge knock to him long term, because the likelihood is
there's a bit of a piss take in it, really.
Yeah, is Everton in the bottom 3 of the Premier League at the minute?
Yeah, they're third from bottom, I believe. Hang on, I think they're third from bottom.
See, if they actually start Simms and give him a little bit of, because what the Everton are playing right now, while we're talking, it's half time 1-1 in the FA Cup. They haven't got Simms on the pitch there either, so either they really don't like him, they've brought him back to do nothing, and that just pisses me off that little bit more, or they do actually want him in the Premier League games and not in the Cup games. What do you reckon? It's obviously Lampard's decision, isn't it? But
from a Sunderland perspective, how was he doing for Sunderland?
He was on fire.
Then that might be the reason they recalled him. They might have said how he's been performing at Sunderland and been like, "Oh, this dude we have on loan is doing really well. We are not doing so well. Maybe we need him to boost our performance
without spending more money, because he is their player.
Spending more money, yeah."
Jacob?
Yeah, it was disappointing to hear about him recalled, but I think maybe Lampard might have seen some of his games at Sunderland and thought, "Do you know what? Let's call him back." So, but it was stupid to bring him on when he's 4-0 down, isn't it? To be honest, because how are you going to get back from there? Like, but we could call him back later on in January.
Oh, yeah. They must be really desperate, because they recalled Nathan Broadhead as well.
Yeah.
So two strikers. By the way, Nathan Broadhead was a player for Sunderland last season, and was potentially looking to go on a full time with us, but got loaned out again by Everton to, was it Wigan? That can't be.
Yeah, well, yeah, Broadhead went to Wigan after us, didn't he? But he wore a Everton player.
Yeah. So he was still on the Everton's books, which I don't blame him for, because Everton are a Premier League outfit. You can get recalled at any point, and then all of a sudden you go from a Championship player to a Premier League player. But I don't know. I think there should be some kind of recompense for Sunderland and any other team that has a loan player that's recalled early. It's a monopoly, really, essentially, what these bigger clubs have with these players, and loaning them out to teams to then swipe the rug from underneath them could massively hinder their progress. Sunderland were 4th when that happened. We drew a game, and then obviously we've slipped down to 8th. But we could have gotten 3 points from there and could have stayed in the top 4 in the playoffs. So these little fine margins and games that are impacted by these loanees going back to their parent club, for me, I think there needs to be some more regulation on there. Do you disagree? Agree? What do you reckon?
It's just, I feel like there's some people blaming Alex Neil for this as well, for the Broadhead situation at Sunderland, him not coming back. And
well, it's no, you can't blame Alex Neil for Nathan Broadhead. That's Speakman's job. Alex Neil is the head coach. Tony Mowbray is the head coach. Speakman is the director of football. He makes the decisions to sign or release players. So no, you can't blame Alex Neil. It might be a personality clash.
I do think there was something going on behind the scenes, like, them not getting along, but I don't think we can overall blame Neil. It is down to Speakman, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially, mate. Yeah. What's your thoughts on it, Dav, as a Liverpool player, Liverpool fan? Sorry, not a Liverpool player. You wish.
I fucking wish. Yeah. Making the big bucks. I think loans in general are pretty. Yeah. I'm not a massive fan of them. Like, I get if you've got players that aren't being used, then yeah, fair enough. But I feel like if you're gonna send a player onto loan, then recalling them it's almost an insult to the team that you've loaned them to.
Yeah,
because you're like you could basically, they could take it as be like, oh, this guy is too good to be playing for your team. We're having him back now. Of course, there are be other reasons for it, but I feel like if you're going to put a player on loan, they should stay there until the loan
period is up.
Period is up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just it causes problems for more than one person.
And that's my thought exactly. I get it. If they say a 6-month loan, you can have them until January transfer window.
Yep.
That's fine. We expect that, but like I said, it's rug pulling. Some teams are not built around these loanee players, but they're enhanced through these loanee players. Using Sunderland as a prime example of that, with Simms and Stewart, we could have the potential of having 2 up front, week in, week out. Now we're looking at like 4-5-1 formations, 4-2-3-1s. We're not actually going for 2 up front, 2 target men who can pull the trigger at any angle and put it in the back of the net. You've got that one outlet, and that one outlet, if you're coming up against it as a defender, is a lot easier to mark. So goals do dry up a lot more because of that loanee being recalled. So there is a lot of pressure on Speakman for Sunderland and clubs in that same situation to bring in replacements. But replacements don't go on trees, right? They've got to be scouted and polished a bit. The easiest place to polish them is obviously in the Premier League academies, which is why I think there's a bit of a monopoly with the likes of Everton, Liverpool, West Ham, Spurs, basically having a absolutely metric shit ton of players on their books, but obviously not playing for them in the first 26 Is it 26 or 28 players? So they've got to find places for them, and people are looking for their players as well. Who's a good example of Jude Bellingham? Jude Bellingham was a Chelsea player, and then obviously he went out on loan to Dortmund.
Mm-hmm.
Premier League to Bundesliga, that's still top flight, right? But he is, yeah, he's shined in that other league because he's been given the time. But Chelsea at any point could go, right, the Bundesliga doesn't matter. We want him back at us. I think he's fully sold now, and he is where he is. But that could have happened with loanees, and I think there's got to be more than, you don't have to pay this player's wages anymore. I think there needs to be like some kind of, we'll take your loanee player, but also if you recall, we get enough to buy a replacement. Maybe.
Yeah, I think the way loan should work is that you loan them for like say 3 or 6 months at a time, and at the end of that period, you go, right, do you still want them? Do you still want to be on loan?
Mm-hmm.
And if they agree, then you redo the loanee for another 3-6 months. And yeah, if they do get recalled, then I think the original club that they're for, should do something for the team they're on loan. Because if they're using that loanee player as like, say, for like a backup, as say they both of their goalkeepers are injured and they've got a loaned keeper.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because if that loaned keeper then goes back, they're screwed basically.
And that could be your number one keeper. I don't know. Yeah. What do you reckon, Jacob, mate? Do you want to weigh in? I guess not. Do you want to weigh in, Jacob?
Sorry, what was that question again? I think
I'll be back in a minute. Give me a sec.
No problem, Staff. Recompense for loanees getting recalled.
Yeah, say I do think it'd be good if we could bring back Simms, like recall him back.
Well, we can't. He was Everton's player. They've recalled him back. What I'm saying is the question is, because they've recalled him, they've put us out. We can now no longer play a 4-4-2. Should there be a system in place where Everton help us find a replacement for that loanee? Or do you think it's Sunderland's recruitment problems and Sunderland's recruitment problems only?
Say maybe down to us, really, because it's not Everton's fault that, so I think it's down to us to get another striker. It's not Everton's job to help us do that.
It was Simms' jobs to do that, though. We had a 12-month agreement with Simms, and now that we only had 6. So, yeah, it's not Everton's job, but Everton should have signed up to that liability if the recall happened.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is, should that 6 month be covered by Everton?
Yeah, I agree with you there. Actually, yeah.
That it just feels like very unfair, and like I said, monopolies happen in the Premier League with that.
Does it feel like Everton have mugged us off in a way?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It made us look like knobheads, and the Everton fans are probably like, fuck you, Sunderland.
Well, I don't dare say they're not really thinking about us at the minute. I think they're more worried about their Premier League status than anything else.
We might be playing them next season, so...
hopefully us in the Prem. Yeah. Hi, Tiger, and yes, nice profile picture. I like it. The Bambino. So yeah, we'll start talking about the Blackpool game itself then, whilst Dov's on the way back and we Sunderland fans are in the call still. So, Jacob, what do you think of the game overall? 1 or 2 sentences on it.
It was an okay game. I mean, first half we weren't great, but I think Tony Mowbray gave him a kick up the backside in the dressing room. In second half, we were the better team than Blackpool, and it worked in our favour. We kept going, and we ended up scoring. So I think overall not too bad. I mean, we can't say all over we've done bad towards the end of 2022. Like in the festive period, we did pretty good. So
yeah, but this is the start of 2023. This is the New Year's Day game, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to start 2023, I mean, I would have preferred to have a 3 points, but you're not going to win every game, are you? It's just one of them things. So, but
No, you're not going to win every game. For me though, mate, I think that game was really, really, really frustrating. I want to emphasize how frustrating it was. I think we were the better team for the entire 90. Their goal came out of the blue. I think
yeah,
it came from a couple of sloppy passes, and obviously, just it's a lapse in judgment from I forgot Patterson. I was going to say Pickford there for some reason. From Patterson. But beyond that, we looked like if once we got the leveler from Ross Stewart's effort, we looked like we were going to be the only team who were going to win that. A draw, I feel, was a little bit more enjoyed by the Blackpool fans than Sunderland. Especially going into that game, I think we should have been beating them because they were in the bottom three, and I think they still are in the bottom three. Welcome back, Darv. But we're not unique in getting a draw against them either. 4 of their last 5 games, they have drew them, so they're starting to pick up a little bit of form. We just don't.
Yeah.
We just don't want to be the team that gets beat by the teams that are struggling.
yeah, we should be going out there and battering them, shouldn't we? Like, showing them who
Yeah.
we really are.
Yeah, exactly. And welcome back, Darv. I don't know. It's just an odd situation to be in, really. There's a lot more that could have been done in the game. I think some of the substitutions were slow. We didn't make as many as we did in the previous game, and the impact wasn't really there. Mitchell came off at half time because I think how sluggish we were towards the last 10-15 minutes of the first half. If the red card for Blackpool was a couple of minutes earlier, I think we would have went on and win that. But yeah, like you said, we can't win every game. It's a frustrating point, but we had 7 out of the last 9 points taken. So our unbeaten run continues, and I think it's just moving on to the next game on the 14th. When's our next league game again?
Yeah.
I think it's the 14th. I'm just going to double check. So that's the Blackpool game over and done with. How's the FA Cup game going between?
They're just getting back on the pitch. I have just watched De Gea spank very hardly one of his teammates' ass.
Kinky.
That's what she said.
Going back to Everton.
Yeah.
As they're currently in the bottom 3, so they are up for relegation.
Yeah.
Possibly at the end of the season. Pickford
is a wasted talent there, isn't he, really?
Being the keeper for the English national team.
Yeah.
If he goes with Everton down to the Championship League, do you reckon he will stay as the England keeper, or will they find it someone else?
They've got 2 potential good replacements already in Pope and Butland. So potentially not. I think he's still got to fight for that place with Southgate. But because he's in the bottom 3, his talents are going to be on show and required a lot more than the other potential England goalkeepers. So yes and no. I think what's most likely to go down is he is likely to be sold on to somebody who might just about survive. So Brighton, someone like that. But yeah, it's a time will tell one with that one, I think, mate. I don't think he's that bad of a keeper. I think it's defensively they don't know what they're doing at the minute.
Yeah, because if you look at the performance between England and Everton, he seems to do a lot better with the England squad, but I think that's purely just because of the defense is a lot better.
Yeah, and when he's called into action, he does his job. I think he's got one of the best shot stopping rates in the Premier League, behind Lloris at Spurs. So yeah, there's a reason he's picked as the number one keeper because he's probably tested that much more.
Yeah.
So, granted, the teams he's tested against and the people who are shooting past him are obviously better. But yeah, that's a good question. I don't think outside of Pickford, anybody in the Everton team deserves to be in the England squad at all.
Yeah, agreed.
Like you said, Pickford's a stretch as well at the minute, considering their current form.
Well, I think his contract, I believe, ends either this year or next year. And
Contract with Everton.
With the England squad. No, with the England squad.
You get
He signed a 6. Yeah. They all get contracts.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay, didn't know that.
So he signed, a 6-year contract in 2018 with the English squad. So that runs out next year.
So what my question is around Pickford in England, if Southgate goes, because I think he had a poor Qatar World Cup, but I think most good teams did, i.e. Germany, Spain, Netherlands. There's a lot of good teams that perform poorly there, and I think there's a little bit of outside factors to bear in mind on that. If Southgate goes though, and I think a lot of fans were calling for it, does he stay in the squad then?
Well, what you need to think about, really, isn't it?
I think he's got a really good pally relationship with Southgate because obviously they're both Northern lads.
Yeah.
Jacob?
Well, I mean, I'd still think you should, Rashford should still, continue regardless of what happens to Southgate, But do you not think he gets a bit? Do you not think fans criticising him too much with Rashford? Do you not think he gets a bit of stick?
Well, he definitely gets a bit of stick because he's the number one England keeper. He is seen as the best talent our country can produce out of 68 million people.
Yeah, I mean, I do think he's all right, though. Rashford, to be fair, but I mean, Southgate, tactic-wise, he's not. I don't think he's good enough, to be fair, for England manager, in my opinion. But
so you would say hopefully Southgate goes before the next tournament or after the next Euros?
After next Euros, to be fair, because we're not gonna. I know we're not gonna. I know I shouldn't be putting us down, but I just know we're not gonna win it.
No.
We haven't even qualified yet. Or what you saying? Oh no, for is there a goal? Oh
no. They've got someone taken off on a stretcher. He had quite a nasty ankle. I think he's fucked his ankle.
Oh, and that's another thing. Injuries. Injuries can play a part and ruin people's careers.
Don't talk to me about bloody injuries.
I'm talking to you about injuries because you said don't. Who's the biggest miss now for Liverpool, for your team?
Off. He's been injured.
Hasn't Van Dijk been injured pretty much on and off for the last 4 years? Since winning the Champions League.
He's been doing well.
He's missed a lot of games.
Liverpool haven't been performing that well, but the amount of injuries that we've had this season is horrendous.
Is that overworking players or something else?
I don't know. The majority of our players have been injured either in training or on in the match.
Yeah.
So it could be a mixture of both, but
so we've been very injury prone this season, and luckily one of our best players, when he's back, has become the highest scoring goal per minute player in the championship. I think he's 6th overall on top scorer, but he's played 12 games less than everybody else. So that's Ross Stewart, by the way, if you didn't know. Ross Stewart is just an absolute talent, and injury aside this season, he has been an absolute delight to watch.
Oh,
Man United scored.
Man
When
Own goal.
they've own goal. Apparently, Yorkshire Mackem says Jose Mourinho should be the next England manager. Is that right, Jacob? Do you agree with that?
Jose Mourinho, yeah, get him in.
Oh, that's funny. I don't. I this special one had his era, and I think he's gone past that era. Like his style of management is well known, and I don't think a lot of players work well under that, especially the England players.
That sucks, man.
If you look at Southgate right now, right, and the players he's got in that England squad, none of them, I can't see it, with the exception of maybe Ross Barkley, that kind of player, Harry Maguire. The defenders, essentially, might like that kind of management, but I can't see Harry Kane getting on with it. He didn't get on with it when he was at Spurs. Yeah, I don't think the players like that style of management. So,
Oh no!
oh, what's
The
happened?
guy who scored the own goal was the guy who scored for Everton previously.
Oh,
So he's technically got 2 goals now. Yeah, you can
football's
see
a funny old
the
game.
frustration on Pickford's face. I think he had that as well.
And
That is an oof.
Is it a Bidoof?
It is a bidoof. It is a bidoof. Also, going back to the English contracts, no, I was wrong. They don't get contracts.
They get paid. They're paid
per
wages.
game.
Yeah, they're paid wages.
Paid per game. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit of a strange one.
I read it as it said. I can't even remember what it said. It mentioned
His 6 years
English, and I read it as his England contract, but it's not. It was his Everton. If you read on a bit.
Yeah.
More. So he signed to Everton until 2024. So I reckon he'll leave.
I can't blame him if they do go down. He is a talent. Yeah. He'll be one of the ones first to go. And it happened with Sunderland. He left Sunderland because we went down. He would have stayed with us. He's a loyal player, but he also is a competitive player. He knows his level, and if your team get relegated, he will jump ship to a top flight team. If Sunderland get promoted and we're looking for a new goalkeeper, I think Pickford would jump at us. It's one of those few players I would have back because he is that good.
He's a good keeper.
And he's generally just a good bloke as well. Yeah, interesting times. So who has Liverpool got in the FA Cup this weekend?
Wolves, who are second to bottom in the Premier League.
Just one place below.
They're below Everton, yeah.
Yeah. Should you be winning that?
On paper, yes. However.
What's the however? Are you going to put out the kids? Or are you going to?
We should have won a lot of. I mean, the last 5 games we've played, we've won all but that last game, which has been pretty good.
Yeah.
So our last 5 games, yeah, that's the first one we've lost since
October.
Why does it not just show me the Prem games, man? Ugh.
Don't know. Is it Google that you're looking through this on for your stats?
Yeah.
So the third
last Premier League team we lost to wasn't
it Brighton?
No, it was Leeds in October. So we've not lost a Premier League game until October. Then we did have the Christmas break as well. So yeah, it's been
the World Cup break and the Christmas break too. So you got to remember, that doesn't feel like a long time in terms of like games, but it's quite a while ago. It could be last season for all this, right? But the third round of the FA Cup does provide quite a lot of upsets. Relating to upsets, Sunderland are playing Shrewsbury Town in Shrewsbury. Jacob, I'll let you say what you think should happen in that game for the best outcome for Sunderland this season.
I mean, generally, where we are at the minute, it's not like we've got to worry about. It's not like focusing more on all the. Like if you mid-table, like
Yeah.
more so, you'd be like, oh, get a good cup run. I don't see why. I know we're a bit higher, but I don't see why we can't. Just we shouldn't have to worry about surviving relegation. No, so I would like to have a fairly nice cup run. So I do want to beat Shrewsbury tomorrow, but I don't want to draw Newcastle in the cup because I'm afraid we'll get beat by them. But
Yeah, so your only concern is if we go through the FA Cup to the fourth round that we get Newcastle.
or a bit more in the future, yeah. But
Yeah.
Newcastle got to Wednesday at Hillsborough, so Wednesday could do a surprise, couldn't they?
Yeah,
So,
the FA Cup is full of surprises and upsets. Some big teams, i.e. Liverpool, Man U. I don't think Man U's put a big team out today. Have they put some of their development players out?
Well, quite a lot of the regulars are off. Maguire's not on.
You got Rashford up
let me
front, but
Rashford's up front.
Ericsson's on the pitch. Bruno Fernandes, but
Hang on, let me
Yeah.
have a look at this.
Yeah. So some teams take the FA Cup super seriously and they'll put out the first team squad because it's a trophy they can definitely get, i.e. Man City and Chelsea, and maybe Arsenal this season will put out their best squads. But most of the other Premier League teams will put out weaker ones, and I think Newcastle will be one of those because they want to finish in the European Champions League places for the first time in decades. So I know they had a mid-2000s Europa League spell, but they have never been in the Champions League since at least the year 2000. So
they won't win it.
they won't win it, but being in it is huge. They're playing teams like... You'll have Geordies who will travel across Europe, so I think that's their focus. So they might put out a weaker squad against Hillsborough, against Sheffield at Hillsborough, but... yeah, I don't think Sunderland against Shrewsbury is going to be one of those upsets. I know there's a lot of Sunderland fans out there that are saying focus on the league, because they cling on to the hope that we can go into the playoffs and focus on the league season for the upper side of the league rather than survival. I think because we're 12 points clear, I think we'll pretty much that or more for the rest of the season. From the bottom three, we might have a game where we lose and all the bottom three win. That's very unlikely. So, yeah, I think we'll go through the FA Cup fourth round. It's a game we can win. We should be winning. Last season against Shrewsbury, we were definitely the better team on both occasions. So yeah, I think the FA Cup we're going to go through to the fourth round. I try not to look at Newcastle unless we're directly facing them because it's a waste of time and effort and resource. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. They might go through with their kids, but I don't think they're gonna focus on it long term. But yeah, sorry.
So they could bottle it against Wednesday, Newcastle.
Yeah, they could bottle it against anybody, but I don't think they're going to put out a maximum strength team against a lower league opposition. If they were playing another Premier League team, yeah, they might try to prove that they should be in the top three of the Premier League for a reason. But I still think they're going to be putting out development of fringe players in this cup game because it gets them game time, it gets them experience, and they're playing for a team that's the top three of the Premier League. So I don't like to harp on all that much about Newcastle, but I think, yeah, if any team's going to beat them in the third round, it's probably Sheffield because that's what they're doing. DJ's popped in the chat saying, hi, my birthday tomorrow. I've just got in from a nice meal, a nice succulent meal. Was it a succulent Chinese meal? Happy birthday, DJ.
Happy birthday to tomorrow.
RWA has popped in as well. What are you saying, Jacob?
Said happy 70th birthday for DJ tomorrow.
Pigs, trotters, and
enjoy
Squids.
the kangaroo cup.
I think we need to explain that one to him a little bit.
No, I don't think we do. Just leave it hanging.
Leave it hang. Well, yeah, that's what happens with kangaroo. Yeah. And RWA has popped in. I'm going to be guesting on their channel in a couple of weeks' time as well, which is going to be quite good. Just before the Middlesbrough game. Be serious, please. I can't be serious. Happy birthday. So yes, we've got lots of stuff. There we go. Right. So FA Cup aside, next league game, Sunderland at home to Swansea City. What are we thinking?
Pickled pig's feet. Oh.
Pig's trotters, mate. I told you we'd have pig's trotters. Told you we'd have pig's trotters.
DJ, what the hell?
Oh, it's just after the Middlesbrough game. Yeah, sorry. Thank you, you cheeky twats. I mean, what are friends for, right? Friends. Yeah, Swansea game. What are you thinking of our chances? Saturday the 14th at home.
Blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Sorry, I was just getting some hair on my mouth.
Okay. Jacob, go on, mate.
I think it was a fairly tough game, but
Mate, if you send me your address, I'll send you a pair of Bluetooth earphones. Sorry. No, what are you thinking though? Let's be realistic. Swansea are currently 15th on 35 points, 9 wins, 8 draws, 9 losses. Goals for and against 36, so goal difference 0. Sunderland are 10 wins, 8 draws, 8 losses, 38 goals and 29 against, plus 9 goal difference.
Oh my god!
The stats are good, but come on, not that good.
How have they not scored that? The hair just got let off massively.
This is the yeah.
I do think we'll beat him, to be fair, but I don't think it'd be like a thrashing game. I think we might win like 2-0 or something like that.
A relatively comfortable 2-0 or an edge of the seat 2-0?
I mean, you never know with Sunderland. Maybe I'm really comfortable 2-0 wins for Sunderland.
Well, I would say the Huddersfield game was a comfortable 2-0, but it was only comfortable once we scored the second goal.
Oh, aye. Weather was shite, do you remember?
Yeah, it was chucking it down a rain and that. It weren't ideal, but you got to play with whatever weather's in front of you, mate. You can't really blame the weather for too much.
That's what Jurgen Klopp does. He blames the weather when it didn't take him.
Who does?
Jurgen Klopp. He's always using excuses with Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, Jurgen Klopp. He's taking the piss out of your manager. Darth, what are you gonna say to that?
You can fucking do whatever you want. I don't care.
Fucking no. I thought you were gonna say do one. This RWA
At the end of the
says,
day, just look at the team differences.
"Oh, I know, mate. We would much rather have one of your players on loan than you would have ours on loan. Let's put it that way, shall we?"
Oh.
Yeah. RWA says this game,
You can have Gomez.
mate, we'll take him. We'd snap him off as long as we keep him for the 6 months and he doesn't get recalled.
Oh, trust me, he won't get recalled.
RWA says this game, I think we'll pinch a 2-1 win. Stewart and Ahmed with the goals. Speaking of Man United, Ahmed Diallo and Loney players. Do you think we're in danger of Ahmed getting our rug pulled on him as well? Or do you think Man United are surviving just fine without a youth player down the right wing?
You know what? I think Man United are doing better without him. So I think we'll keep. You know,
I think if he gets recalled, he will be sat on the bench if he's lucky. So
I don't think we go back to Man United. I think he prefers something.
I think he prefers Sunderland because he's a first team player, he's first choice player, and he's bagging goals or assisting for goals. I think he's thriving at the minute, and I think Man United would be very remiss of bringing somebody in to ruin their career, but it's not beyond them. let's put it that way. But there's been a lot of Premier League teams who've just been, how do you put it, petty with some of their players, giving them bad mouths, or running their mouth off on Twitter or something like that. So yeah, the players, I think, got to just keep his mouth shut and enjoy football while he can.
Oh wow!
How the player, is that a dive?
That is a massive dive. He got away with it as well.
Decore was like very, very pissed off that he got a yellow card there. And I don't blame him. Rashford dive.
With some of the Man United, you don't see, look at Man United fans. You just see, I don't see like they sing like we do. You know, during the games, they just sat there silent as ever. And I bet Diallo would prefer the hearing the Sunderland fans than Man United. Man United are just like plastic. Sunderland are just.
But, mate, right? If we're going by fan base and we look at certain statistics, and fan bases don't win games. It's sadly not the case, because if it was, we'd win pretty much every game going in the Championship and League One. But they have the highest percentage of tickets sold per game and attendance on those tickets sold across the entire Premier League. I think they have like a 99.8% attendance rate, which is over 70,000. I wouldn't care if I was the owner of Man U if the fans were quiet, if they only came in and ate a pork pie and had a bovril. Wouldn't care less. It's money on the seats, and the seats are being filled. There's no that's all I really care about, right? The owners, fans on seats. Sunderland fans, yes, we're more passionate, I think, than most Man U fans. Not all, but most. 99.8% of Man U fans, to be fair. But there is that 0.2% that are there that I would say know their shit about the team and are really passionate about it. So, is it overall fan base? Yes, I think we have a more loud, vocal, passionate fan base, but it's not every single situation. So, yeah. What was your point you were trying to make about the fan base, though? The Man U fan base is quiet and they're not really.
And players might think, you know what to motivate them, and I think our fans, like with Diallo, they might feel more motivated at Sunderland as well. Man United.
I've been muted for.
Man, fuck off.
For a little while.
I've been trying to talk, and I just looked down at my mic and I saw his red, and I was like,
go on the Dov.
Oh my god! I was saying, fan bases go. I think Sunderland have got a bigger fan base than some Premier League teams.
We literally have the 8th biggest stadium in the country for a reason.
Yeah.
So if fans could win games, I would love that, because we would be in the top 10 in the Prem, but we're not. We are where we are because of our players, and we're 8th in the Championship, which is a really good sign considering we were a promoted team. You got Rotherham in 21st and Wigan in 24th. And I think we should start the chant off of, at least we're not Wigan. At least we're not Wigan.
Mate, these Everton players look shattered.
Well, Lampard's probably running them ragged because how poorly they're performing. There's overworking players as well. Sometimes rest is a good thing.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, yes, interesting times ahead for players like Amad Diallo. I don't know why, but I got like a picnic. Man U fans being a picnic, like having a picnic at the game, and us having a rave. When you were like, why would you want your fans to act like they're in a park having a picnic versus to a bunch of
Old
We
Trafford is a
want our dick back.
We want our dick back.
That's one of my all-time favorite football songs.
Oh,
You know what the thing is, like that was Finland fans singing that song. That were
that's why he said. That's why he said it. I can't remember who we were playing though. Was it Everton?
I don't know.
It was during the Advocate, wasn't it? That sort of era.
Yeah, it was. Ah. I'm gonna ask the question now, because obviously the Sims situation of losing a striker that is bagging goals for us is quite concerning.
Oh my god!
Is it 2-2?
No! Holy! Why is he so far up the field?
Is he bored?
Oh my god! He almost just let them Everton get a goal because he's just so far up the field. That was so close. He almost ran over one of his own defenders trying to get back.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
For those of you that don't know what's happening, we're also watching the Man U Everton game in the background.
Yes.
Yes. So we are slightly distracted with that
I'm
entertainment. Old Trafford is a library. It feels like one.
Winning.
So my question was, and I think it's more to Jacob, with recruitment being a major point. Oh, this is a good attack. Down the right wing.
No, he's taking too long. He's took too long.
No, he's got it across. It's in the back of the net.
Oh my god, it went in!
Calvert-Lewin.
Well played.
2-2.
2-2.
Was that Calvert-Lewin? Yeah, it was.
I don't know, but that cross was phenomenal.
So, Jacob, DJ wants to ask you a question, and I think I might know what it is before he
No.
Who's the Preston manager? You got to answer him because it's his birthday.
No, his birthday's tomorrow.
Oh,
He's offside.
I don't think they have VAR in the FA Cup.
I'm not going to VAR, but he was offside.
Was that off his titty?
That was off his man boot.
That was off his titty.
Yeah, he tested it in.
Boom.
Oh, did he? Or did it hit his art?
Are they VAR-ing?
They are VAR-ing. Yeah, offside, no goal.
Where's the fucking ban button? These are both mods, so you can't ban at each other. That's funnier. Oh, they've given. Did you see the Everton fan laughing because it was given as offside?
Well, you could see in the replay it was clearly offside.
Yeah. Well, do you remember when Liverpool won the league in 2020?
I can't hear a word, Jacob.
Do you remember when Man City won the league in 2020?
No, Liverpool.
Liverpool? I thought that was 2019.
I remember because Man City had to give us a what's it called? Fucking
the trophy.
No. They did the lineup thing where you walk in the Shield of Honor.
Oh.
And it was hilarious because it was right after the game where we
mathematically won it.
Where we locked in the win, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's between us and them, and we won the game previously, and they didn't. So funny.
Man, why is that not a short?
Good old times.
But yes, back to my question. Recruitment. Do you think we are ready for the Premier League if we do go up? Playoffs automatic. We're not getting automatics, but playoffs might be a fringe. Ooh. I don't trust our current recruiter to do that. I trust. Sorry.
I said I'm in the middle with that. Like Tristan and yelling there.
You're in the middle with it.
Yeah.
Oh, Pickford's telling the ref off.
Yeah. So, I think he's doing a really good job to put us in the position of putting us in the playoffs. I think he will massively struggle to get the right players in at the right price and the right mentality for the Premier League. I think he will get desperate towards the end of August and buy players who we don't need or want or don't want to play for us. I do not ever want to be in a situation again where we have players like Jack Rodwell in our team. Gibson,
Yeah.
all of them useless, money-grabbing types of players. We don't want that ever again. I'd much rather have the Amad Diallos who want to play because they're not getting game time elsewhere. I'd much rather have somebody who's a little bit on the fringe of this really, really good club or an average club, but are desperate to prove themselves, rather than somebody who's proven and expensive. Because we could do what Nottingham Forest have done and pretty much completely replace their first 11 to basically go straight back down. What would be the point of that? I think we need to reward our players who put us in that position. So I think this season, even if we do finish in the playoffs, I wouldn't be too disappointed if we don't go through. But also, if we were in the situation, it's 3 games away from the Premier League. So I'd still want it, if that makes sense. I just don't trust.
DJ's last comment in the stream.
Yeah, forget about it then. Yeah.
I think he's bad mood because he's turning 70 tomorrow. Just let him have his rest.
Yeah. Enjoy your early night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking Speakman needs to prove himself in this transfer window that he is capable of doing the best thing for Sunderland.
Yeah.
Especially listening to 99% of what Sunderland fans are saying right now. 2 strikers, a solid right back, a solid left back to replace and to rotate. In the midfield, maybe 1 player. But it looks like we're just stacking the midfield and then putting them in at the back or up front, depending on who's injured. It just seems really weird. We've gone with, I think we've got 13 midfielders, 2 strikers, and we've got 3 strikers because Jacku is classed as a striker for some reason, and 8 defenders and 2 keepers and 1 keeper that hasn't played a single minute this season. So I don't know. It's a strange situation for Sunderland to be in, but a good one. At least we're not Wigan. At least. Yeah, it's fun times. We'll see. We shall see. I think we're coming up to about the hour mark now. So, to save the podcast freaking out, do you want to call anything out, Darth? Do you want to shout out what you're doing on your socials or what your socials are?
I'm not doing anything, man. I'm chilling.
Okay.
As the boys John Cena would say, I'm being chilling.
I've been chilling. What's up, Beijing? Follow Darth on Twitter and Twitch at Darvlaw. Jacob.
Oh, don't. It's your.
Oh, no. Just do it. Just do it, okay, please. Thank you. It make me feel good. Jacob?
For me, I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok. That's it.
TikTok and Instagram, for those of you that were struggling to hear it like we were, and it's at Yorkshire Mackem.
No, my Instagram is just Jacob William Aviard and my TikTok is Jacob745.
There we go. 745. Got you, buddy.
Yeah.
And on this channel, we'll be watching the game tomorrow in the FA Cup on this channel. Check us out for that watch along. We'll do another Friday Night Football this time next week. We might have a new guest on next week if he's able to make it. So I'll confirm that in a couple of days. And yeah, catch you tomorrow on the watch along. See you next week for another Friday Night Football. What, lads? Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Bye.